Good evening, everyone. My name is Sarah Rahman Sheikh, and I am from Rani Bella Girls College, affiliated by Calcutta University. I would like to take the honor to present my paper, Subverting the Colonial Gaze, a post-colonial and psychoanalytic reading of Chinua Achebe's Things Fall Apart. Now, The Things Fall Apart stands as a cornerstone of post-colonial literature, offering a counter-narrative to colonial misrepresentation of Africa. Through the lens of Frantz Fanon's Black Skin, White Masks and The Wretched of the Earth, the paper delves into exploring the psychological, cultural, and the spiritual colonization of the Igbo society and the cultural identity. I also try to use the psychoanalytic reading, invoking Carl Jung's theory of individuation and the collective unconscious archetype of the shadow to reveal the inner conflict of the colonized individuals, particularly or primarily the Nuai and Okonkwo's characters. To begin with, Fanon's Black Skin, White Mask provides a compelling lens to which we understand the internalized inferiority and mimetic desire within colonized societies. The character of Nuai epitomizes this conflicted psyche. As a boy who detests his father's Okonkwo's hypermasculinity and the brutal traditionalism, Nuai is drawn toward the Christian missionaries. His shift can be interpreted as a psychological survival mechanism. The white mask he wears to distance himself from the trauma and few indecent and unjustifiable rituals of the Igbo customs, such as the killing of the twins in the evil forest or the ritualistic murder of the Ikemefuna. Fanon's The Wretched of the Earth contextualizes the novel's broader socio-political arc. Colonization, Fanon argues, is inherently violent, and therefore, to undergo the process of decolonization, violence is inherently inevitable. The missionaries' arrival in Umofia symbolizes by the destruction of Abame and the silent infiltration of Mr. Brown begins the certain erasure of Igbo traditions. Although Mr. Brown is initially accommodating, using local intermediaries like Kiaga to communicate the Christian message, his replacement, Mr. James Smith, escalates this cultural erasure. The transformation is not merely religious, but epistemological. The very eroding of the main philosophy and the crux of the cultural identity and the essence of the Igbo community. It replaces the polytheistic, pantheistic worldview of the community with monotheism and undermining the spiritual anchors such as Chukwu, the god. The disintegration of the community reflects Fanon's claim that colonization dismantles this native institution under the guise of enlightenment. Next, we find in the psychoanalysis and the inner worlds of colonized subjects that Carl Jung's theory of individuation can be highly applied to the character of Nuai. Now, Nuai's disillusionment begins with Ikemefuna's death, catalyzing an internal crisis that compels him to confront the repressed emotions. His departure to join the missionary is just not rebellion but resolution, a conscious choice to embrace a new moral self away from the destruction codes of his upbringing, a self that is accepted not by the very community, community where he's supposed to belong, but the very outsiders. In contrast, Okonkwo's character, which is also can be seen as a tragic figure, fails at individuation. And it is mainly because of the haunting memories of his father, Unoka's failure, and effimacy or Agbala that his father was titled, and he was always scared, Okonkwo was always scared to associate himself in any way with Unoka's doings. Okonkwo overcompensates this very act by exhibiting exaggerated masculinity. In fact, we find that it was not even needed for him to be there, to be present and kill Ikemefuna by himself, as the main elder character already informed that you do not have to be there, but still he chose to be there in order to reclaim his masculinity or validate his masculinity, which was not required. He beats his wife during the sacred week of peace, kills Ikemefuna, which is unneeded, to be present and kill him by himself. And these acts of brutality mask his deep-rooted fear of inadequacy. His suicide at the end of the chapter or end of the book, it marks not just personal defeat but communal collapse, unable to adapt or lead the resistant efficiently. He embodies Fanon's native intellectual caught in a doomed struggle against the colonial disintegration. At the end, I would like to end this paper by explaining the language, narrative, and the resistance that the book offered. The very smart way of incorporating Igbo proverbs, idioms, and terminologies is a deliberate act of resistance from Achibe's side. He repurposes the colonizer's language to articulate indigenous experiences, challenging the imperial misrepresentation, especially like those in Joseph Conrad's The Heart of Darkness, where Conrad reduces the Africans in silent brutes, and Achebe gives or grants the voice and agency and depth to these silent brutes. His stylistic hybridity destabilizes the colonial gaze, making things fall apart, a masterstroke in linguistic decolonization. At the end of the book, we find that how James Smith is inspired to write the book titled The Pacification of the Primitive Tribes of a Lower Niger. Why? Because of Okonkwo's death, and it was seen as a victory for the West. This reduction of Okonkwo's complex life into a footnote in a colonial narrative exemplifies the West's tendency to erase and oversimplify. And this also can be applied to Orientalism, of how Orients are misrepresented, stereotyped, and oppressed through these type of perpetuated narratives by the Occidents. Here, James Smith. To conclude the paper, Things Fall Apart is a potent critique of colonialism's psychological, spiritual, and socio-political consequences. Through Fanon's theories, we understand the internal colonization of characters like Noi and the tragic resistance of Okonkwo. Through Jung, we perceive the psychic toll of the cultural dissonance. Achebe's strategic use of language and narrative form offers a radical counter-discourse to Orientalism and the Eurocentric literary canon. Ultimately, the novel champions national consciousness and post-colonial identity, not through romantic nationalism, but by confronting the fractures and the fragmentation within the native society and the brutality of the foreign conquest. Achebe's achievement lies not just in telling the story of Omofoa's fall, but really reclaiming the identity which was scarred and misrepresented by the Eurocentric world. Thank you.